Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we explore the most fascinating, sometimes shocking, and always thought-provoking topics from around the globe. Today, we're diving into a subject that's making headlines and sparking debates everywhere. 10 countries that are kicking out immigrants in 2025. Yep, you heard that right. Immigration policies are shifting, and by 2025, some countries are expected to take a much stricter stance. Now, this isn't about pointing fingers or taking sides. It's about understanding how the world is changing and what that means for people on the move. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's dive into this together. Now, before we get into the list, let's talk about why this is happening. Immigration is a hot butter issue everywhere. Some countries are dealing with overcrowding, economic pressures, or political shifts that are making them rethink their policies. And by 2025, these changes could mean stricter rules, fewer visas, and even mass deportations in some places. So let's start with number 10. And trust me, some of these might really surprise you. Number 10, Italy. Now, Italy is known for its stunning landscapes, delicious food, and rich history. But here's the thing. Italy has been struggling with a surge in immigration, especially from North Africa and the Middle East. By 2025, it's expected that Italy will tighten its immigration policies even further. Why? Well, with rising unemployment and pressure on public services, the government is under pressure to prioritize its citizens. And let's not forget, Italy is one of the main entry points for migrants crossing the Mediterranean. So if you're thinking of making Italy your new home, you might want to keep an eye on those policy changes. And honestly, it's a tough situation. Italy has so much to offer, but the strain on resources is real. All right, let's move on to number 9. Number 9, Australia. Now, Australia is a dream destination for many. Sunny beaches, a high quality of life, and plenty of opportunities. But here's the catch. Australia has some of the strictest immigration policies in the world, and by 2025, they're expected to get even tougher. Why? Well, Australia has been dealing with overcrowding in major cities like Sydney and Melbourne, and the government is under pressure to reduce immigration numbers. In fact, in recent years, Australia has already been deporting thousands of people who overstay their visas. So, if you're dreaming of starting a new life down under, you might want to make sure your paperwork is in order. And let's be real, Australia is incredible, but with great destinations come great responsibilities, right? All right, let's move on to number 8. Number 8, Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia has been a major destination for migrant workers for decades, especially from South Asia and the Philippines. But by 2025, it's expected that Saudi Arabia will start sending many of these workers back home. Why? Well, the Saudi government has been pushing a policy called Saudization, which aims to create more jobs for Saudi citizens. And with the economy shifting away from oil, there is less demand for foreign labor. So, if you're working in Saudi Arabia or planning to, you might want to start thinking about your next move. And honestly, it's a big shift for a country that's relied so heavily on migrant workers. But as the world changes, so do the rules. All right, let's keep going. Number 7 is a country that might really surprise you. Number 7, United States. Now, the U.S. has always been known as a land of opportunity, a melting pot of cultures. But by 2025, it's possible that the U.S. will start deporting more immigrants than ever before. Why? Well, immigration has been a contentious issue in the U.S. for years. And with political shifts, it's likely that policies will become even stricter. In fact, in recent years, the U.S. has already been deporting thousands of people, especially those who entered the country illegally. So, if you're living in the U.S. or planning to move there, you might want to stay updated on those policy changes. And let's not forget, the U.S. is home to over 44 million immigrants. That's about 13% of the population. But as the world changes, so do the rules of immigration. All right, let's move on to number 6. Number 6, United Kingdom. Now, the UK has always been a popular destination for immigrants, especially from former colonies like India, Pakistan, and Nigeria. But by 2025, it's expected that the UK will start kicking out more immigrants. Why? Well, Brexit has already changed the game, and the UK is under pressure to reduce immigration numbers. In fact, the government has already introduced stricter visa rules and has been deporting people who overstay their visas. So, if you're thinking of moving to the UK, you might want to start planning now. And honestly, the UK has so much to offer: history, culture, and opportunities. But as the world changes, so do the rules. All right, let's keep going. Number 5 is a country that's been in the headlines a lot recently. Number 5, South Africa. Now, South Africa is a beautiful country with a rich history and diverse culture, but by 2025, it's expected that South Africa will start deporting more immigrants. Why? Well, South Africa has been dealing with high unemployment and social tensions, and many citizens blame immigrants for taking jobs and resources. In fact, in recent years, there have been violent attacks on immigrants, especially from other African countries. So if you're living in South Africa or planning to move there, you might want to stay informed about the situation. And let's not forget, South Africa is home to some of the most incredible wildlife and natural beauty in the world. But as the world changes, so do the rules of immigration. All right, let's move on to number 4. Number 4, Japan. Now, Japan is known for its cutting-edge technology, rich culture, and high standard of living. But here's the thing. Japan has one of the strictest immigration policies in the world, and by 2025, it's expected to get even stricter. Why? Well, Japan has a rapidly aging population and a low birth rate. But instead of welcoming immigrants, the government is focusing on automation and robotics to fill the labor gap. So, if you're thinking of moving to Japan, you might want to start learning about those visa requirements now. And honestly, Japan is a fascinating country with so much to offer. But as the world changes, so do the rules. All right, let's keep going. Number 3 is a country that might really surprise you. Number 3, Canada. Wait, Canada? The country known for being so welcoming? Well, yes, but here's the thing. By 2025, even Canada might start kicking out more immigrants. Why? Well, Canada has been dealing with a surge in immigration, and while it's been great for the economy, it's also put pressure on housing and public services. In fact, the government has already started tightening its immigration policies, especially for temporary workers and students. So, if you're thinking of moving to Canada, you might want to start planning now. And let's not forget, Canada is home to some of the most welcoming and diverse communities in the world. But as the world changes, so do the rules of immigration. All right, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, Germany. Now, Germany has been a beacon of hope for many immigrants, especially during the refugee crisis. But by 2025, it's expected that Germany will start deporting more immigrants. Why? Well, Germany has been dealing with social and economic pressures, and the government is under pressure to reduce immigration numbers. In fact, in recent years, Germany has already been deporting thousands of people, especially those whose asylum applications were denied. So, if you're living in Germany or planning to move there, you might want to stay informed about the situation. And honestly, Germany has so much to offer: history, culture, and opportunities. But as the world changes, so do the rules. All right, let's move on to number 1. Number 1, United Arab Emirates. Now, the UAE is known for its glitzy cities, tax-free salaries, and luxurious lifestyle. But by 2025, it's expected that the UAE will start sending many of its expats back home. Why? Well, the UAE has been pushing a policy called Emiratization, which aims to create more jobs for Emirati citizens. And with the economy shifting, there's less demand for foreign workers. So if you're living in the UAE or planning to move there, you might want to start thinking about your next move. And let's not forget, the UAE is home to some of the most ambitious projects in the world. But as the world changes, so do the rules of immigration. So there you have it, 10 countries that are kicking out immigrants in 2025. Now, I know this might sound a bit daunting, but remember, the world is always changing, and who knows, by 2025, some of these policies might change too. But for now, if you're living in or planning to move to any of these places, it might be a good idea to stay informed and start planning ahead. Alright, that's it for today's video, but before we go, I want to hear from you. What do you think about these immigration changes? Are there any countries on this list that surprise you? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating insights into our ever-changing world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.